Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Philip cheerfully welcomes Stephanie in bed with a happy new year after she awakens from a dream in which she makes love to Alex on today's episode of Days of Our Lives. Philip observes that Steph appears to be having a vivid dream, but she recovers. Although she pretends not to know, Philip is very certain it was about Alex. After Stephanie confesses, Philip acknowledges that he erred in failing to assist her in overcoming Alex. She keeps him from leaving, but Philip is genuinely interested in her and knows she is still in love with Alex. He desires a partnership. Stephanie admits that she still feels something for Chloe, but he feels the same way. Both of them wish to go on. Philip is her present, and Alex is her history. Days while eating breakfast with Stephanie, Philip sits in just an apron and holds a cup of coffee. It's sufficient to soothe Philip and enjoy breakfast together. They settle down to dine after he puts on an apron and prepares some eggs. Stephanie's admiration for his culinary abilities is appropriate. They briefly discuss his rejoining Titan, and he is overjoyed that she believes in him. Joy says that the good news is that Alex isn't married even though they both wake up uncomfortable in bed together. She does, however, question whether she is infringing on Stephanie and him. He tells her that nothing exists and that nothing has existed for a very long time. She is also with his cousin. He tells Joy about their past, followed by his and Stephanie's. However, they must move on since he and Stephanie are simply incompatible. After spending a night together, they decide that this is an awkward conversation and resume kissing. When they're done, they dress, and Joy begins studying her lines for the following day. They're with Faith, too. Chanel will not be pleased. Alex tells Joy she's a tough cookie and believes she was in a no-win situation. As they snuggle in bed, Day's Joy gives Alex the side-eye. On New Year's Day, Johnny arrives at the Body and Soul headquarters and is taken aback to see Abe there. He informs Abe that Chanel has left. Johnny quickly explains what transpired to an astonished Abe. To exacerbate the situation, he then confesses to Abe that Joy was the lady he had an affair with. Johnny claims that was before she even tried out for the show, which infuriates Abe. Though it's entirely over, he felt Abe should know that it was only a coincidence. Probably along with his marriage. They can still preserve it, Abe attempts to tell Johnny, but he doesn't think so. He repeatedly made mistakes. However, Johnny corrects Abe when he mentions that he had slept with Joy. Perhaps you were more sensible than you believed. Although Johnny claims he just couldn't betray her, he did so as soon as he entered Joy's room. Furthermore, he no longer believes Chanel loves him. Abe reminds Johnny once more that he must work hard and that Chanel needs time. Thanks to Abe, Johnny is prepared to go to any lengths. Although Paulina may be more difficult to win over, he doesn't despise Johnny. Dazed Johnny gazes at Abe in the Body and Soul office with sadness. Paulina questions why Chanel isn't at home with Johnny after being shocked to see her emerge from the guest room. Because I broke up with him. Paulina is astonished and curious about what transpired. What didn't work? She explains how Johnny betrayed her mother and how he exacted revenge on her for something she didn't do. When Paulina learns that he cheated on Joy, she just looks on. Paulina's situation is made worse by the fact that they were total strangers when they did it. Paulina simply stares at Chanel as she claims that they didn't have sex. Well, what's upsetting you so much? Chanel lashes out at him for still playing tricks on her. Paulina falters a little when she tells her mother what transpired. I know it sounds awful, but Chanel, however, goes on and on about how awful Johnny was from the minute he believed she was unfaithful to him. Paulina appears astonished. Paulina is soon in Chanel's court, and Johnny's actions are unacceptable. She is deeply sorry for Chanel's ordeal. Since it's the first day of the new year, she could feel better if she takes a shower and gets dressed. Chanel does that, but she doesn't think it will make her feel better. Dazed Chanel sits in a robe and converses with Paulina at their kitchen table, looking down in contempt. After agreeing that they're happy he stayed, Gabby and JJ wake up in bed together and give each other a gentle kiss. Something breaking downstairs interrupts them. With JJ brandishing a tennis racket and making threats, they dash down, and Javi cowers on the ground, screaming that he won't be killed. He acknowledges who it is, says he was preparing pancakes, and apologizes for shattering the bowl. To Javi's satisfaction, who observes that they appeared to enjoy themselves last night, JJ introduces himself. They exchange information on their New Year's Eve activities over breakfast. Javi went out by himself and is acting strangely, and Gabby can tell by the expression on his face that he's considering returning to Leo. As he leaves, he taunts them to refrain from doing something that he wouldn't do. Or take action. Dazed Gabby observes with amusement as JJ shakes Javi's hand in the kitchen while bare-chested. During their breakfast together in the show's last seconds, Gabby congratulates JJ on surviving Hurricane Javi. After some flirting, they decide to spend the day together once they both realize they have some spare time. After getting dressed, Philip informs Stephanie that although he would much like to stay, he must go to the office. Xander is most likely already there. Alex arrives to greet them as they exchange farewell kisses in the doorway. With extra vigor, Philip welcomes his cousin and tells Alex that he and Stephanie had a great New Year's Eve. Alex and Stephanie exchange Happy New Year's greetings as he flees. They discuss the notes from Johnny and Chanel after Abe arrives home and says he needs to speak with Paulina. Chanel is unlikely to forgive Johnny anytime soon, according to Paulina. Back at the Body and Soul office, Johnny pulls out his phone, calls his wife, and plays with his ring. In Horton Square, Chanel answers the phone, tells her husband she has nothing to say, and then hangs up. Then she turns to observe Joy reading lines while seated on a bench. On the other hand, to face her, she stomps over. Here are the spoilers for Friday, January 3rd, 2025's episode of Days of Our Lives. Fans should anticipate that Abe Carver will provide Johnny DiMera a sympathetic ear in tomorrow's episode. Paulina Price supports Chanel Dupree DiMera. A delicate moment between JJ Devereaux and Gabby Hernandez, Sherry Jimenez, is disrupted by Javi Hernandez. Let's discuss what will happen in the upcoming Peacock soap opera episode as you continue reading. According to Friday, January 3rd spoilers for Janelle Split DOL, Johnny only needed to discuss their secret with Joy Wesley. Joy's attendance at the New Year's Eve party did not sit well with Johnny. Joy is correct, though, in saying that Chanel makes it very difficult to refuse her. Chanel then happened to hear Joy and Johnny arguing about what they had done. Johnny complains to Abe after being made to confess. Now that he has a listening ear, Abe will need to watch what he says. The reason for this is that Abe is wed to Paulina, Johnny's mother-in-law. DOL warning, clause of Paulina Price. Expect Chanel to depart the DiMera mansion following Johnny's confession on Friday, January 3rd. In the hopes that they may reconcile, Johnny pleaded with Chanel to stay. Chanel, on the other hand, had no interest and needed to leave Johnny immediately. Chanel is going to her mom's house. Paulina will undoubtedly encourage Chanel and make an effort to console her. Paulina will undoubtedly get her claws out if Johnny dares to appear. According to Friday, January 3rd spoilers for Joy Wesley's awkward morning Days of Our Lives, Joy jumped in bed with Alex Kyriakis, Robert Scott Wilson, while Chanel was getting the truth from Johnny. Joy and Alex's upcoming New Year's passion is hinted at. However, Joy and Alex will find things awkward when they wake up the following morning. This might make matters worse because Stephanie Johnson is already envious of Alex and Joy.